each of these SaaS products that we are using also come with their own set of settings, their own configurations, which could be secure or insecure. And on top of that, there is a permutation of these that could happen, right? With a number of applications being used by a number of departments. You don't know what kind of data they are accessing or need to access through that or not, or need to be prohibited. So there is this whole permutation and combination of misconfigurations essentially that can happen because of the SaaS sprawl. Now, since you come with that experience of building a SaaS security platform, I wanted to know from you, how did you tackle that challenge? Because this one area itself is a big challenge.
Right. So to tackle any problem, the first thing that you need to do is identify it. Like what exactly is the problem? So if you look at the whole SaaS spectrum, like generally people think if you put a SSO on top of it, like if you manage the onboarding and offboarding properly, your SaaS security is taken care of. But generally, that is not the case. What happens is like the sensitive information that you use, SaaS tools enable you to leverage their functionality to complete the task that you need to do your business, right? So, for example, for GitHub, a public repository and private repository both are like valid use case. But something with a sensitive information or your private code base, right? A public repository is a disaster. So this is a very naive example, but this is what comes under the umbrella of configuration. Like however you are using the each and every aspect of your SaaS tool, like that right? Have you configured it properly? And another thing about SaaS is it is being used by each and every member in your team, in your organization. Anyone, even in the sales, will be using a bunch of SaaS tools. In marketing, they will be using a bunch of SaaS tools. Everyone need to use these tools to be effective, to be productive. So what happens is generally, like in the era of cloud, right? When cloud was new, like you had this thing, you are on cloud, you are secure. But after this SolarWinds thing that happened, it opened people eyes that like, no, you have to be aware of what you are. You need to be like, you need to like, I would say, honor the attack vectors out there, deal with them, like build for them, and so that you can like be ready for any kind of attack that is going to happen. So same is with the SaaS, right? So you need to understand what kind of risk it can pose, right? And how misconfigurations can lead to. And in cloud, like a good engineering culture can give you some leeway into it. Like a good engineering culture can give you like, you can deal many of the security challenges related to cloud with that. Because it's mostly the engineers, and that to a select privileged access engineers have access to the cloud, can make changes to the cloud. But over here, your whole organization is using it. Like someone is in marketing, they will just need to know how I can do it best, like how I can get the most money out of every penny I am investing, right? That's their target. So for them, like understanding all this or going into the details of how to use a particular tool, like it's expecting too much out for them. So that is kind of the inspiration for building a security tool or a security platform that is horizontal in nature, will cut across all the teams in the organization. And that is where the need for a SaaS security platform comes from. Going into the one of the most common aspect, and that is found in almost all SaaS applications, is the misconfiguration. There are other attack vectors as well, but misconfiguration being the most common one, and very easily you can go wrong with it. If I borrow an example from the cloud AWS, for example, S3 by default gives you a public bucket, right? That is the biggest misconfiguration.
That is the favorite example for all of us. But yeah,
like everyone asks the same question: why AWS? Why you want a private S3 bucket, right? By default, if I take like a conscious decision, then it's fine. But I just created a bucket, put some object into it. Now it is out there for the whole world to see it. Same is true for example, Google Drive by default has like anyone with a link can access it, right? So if that is enabled, like you mistakenly like send it to someone, that person sent it to someone else, and it ends up in the wrong hands, and all of a sudden that data is out there in public. So yeah, similarly, I will say these are like very basic configurations that I like talking about. The more serious ones, let's say in context of G Suite, can be like you can G Suite provides you with an option that you can configure whether how to scan for a PII data in any of the files in your drive. Like if someone is sharing a PII data, you can control that. But you can stop them from sharing that. You can stop them from sharing it outside the organization, for example, or downloading that data, right? So you can do all that. But again, if not configured, it is of no use. So it is very important to understand the exact use case and then apply those configurations for that. One example that comes to my mind in this regard is Salesforce data leak that happened with NHS, where like all the vaccination information that they had, right? It was like public by default. So anyone could go there and scrape all that data. And it was a simple misconfiguration that was a portal that should not be public, and it was in public. Right? So anyone can go and scrape all that data. So, yeah, I'll say misconfigurations are everywhere. And as I said, like with thousands of apps, thousands of SaaS apps, it's very like difficult to understand each and every application in detail and configure it properly. So yeah, that gives us the inspirations to build a SaaS security platform. And moreover, I'll say you use a SaaS application to speed up your like journey so that you don't need to build itself. But what good that will be if you need to go in depth of that, understand it fully, and then go ahead with it. So right, so that is why there is a need of a SaaS security platform that we are discussing over here. That quickly gives you the confidence that the tool that you are using is the right.